Hello. This afternoon I'm got some brush piles that I need to burn up as some of my afternoon chores around the house here. And before I really get started doing that, I got to thinking about one of MTWoodsrunner's videos. About 2 months ago, he challenged everybody in Canteen Cup Tuesday to get outside of the box and find other uses for the Canteen Cup. Although there's been a lot of good meals made on Canteen Cup Tuesday, he was saying that part of his original thought is to see how versatile the Canteen Cup is. So before I get involved in burning up too big of a brush fire, I thought I'd make me a little fire here and do one of my Canteen Cup Tuesdays. Today I'm going to take MTWoodsrunner's challenge and to try to do something different, definitely not food related. And excuse me, I'm going to use my Canteen Cup to make some char cloth. So what I've just got a GI Canteen Cup and a Rothko lid, which when I first bought it, it was a solid lid. I drilled some holes in it to try to mimic the Pathfinder lid a little bit and use as a strainer. I thought the Rothko lid would sit better on the GI cup than what it does, but the two shapes don't marry well. At best, it just kind of rests on there. And so anyhow, there's that. It probably works great with the Rothko Canteen Cup, but with the GI Canteen Cup, it does not fit so well. And this is, I think, the third GI Canteen Cup I do have, and I bought 3 lids to just kind of make sets, and the combination don't work out so well. I think this particular one is the one I have the best combination with. And then I've got some sacrificed blue jean material from some old coveralls that I've had. So that's what we're going to make our char cloth out of. Give me a couple minutes to let some of this die down a little bit so I have more coals and flame, and then I'll show you that we can use the Canteen Cup for a few other things besides just food. Okay, so I raked my burning logs over here and put them in a little pile because I still want to burn my brush later on, so I'm just kind of reserving them. And then I raked out my coals. Got a pretty good little coal bed here, and I think plenty to do what we want to. So I just got my blue jean material. Oops. Head start. And I'm just going to drop it down inside my Canteen Cup. And as best I can, put my lid on here. I want to try to cover up as much of my opening as I can. It's not going to fit tight, so I don't got to worry too much, but I don't want it to. And I'm just going to set that there. On top of the coals. And as that heats up, it's going to start smoking. And for our char cloth, what we want to do is we want to wait till it completely quits smoking and then cools back down on its own naturally. I did this a couple of weeks ago to make some, and it took about 20 minutes. So I don't want to just let the camera run for 20 minutes because I myself am not going to have 20 minutes worth of conversation for you. Or I may just let it run and then fast forward it through in the editing process. But anyhow, as long as you keep your material robbed of oxygen, it won't catch on fire, and you just want to char it. And so with the lid on here and the fact that it does not fit tight, It does help it vent, plus the vent holes that I drilled into it last year. It worked pretty well for me with this exact cup and lid a couple weeks back ago. So it catching on fire internally, I'm pretty sure I'm robbing enough oxygen off of it this way. Works out pretty well. The biggest thing is, if it would not be my ideal cup, my ideal container for making char cloth, but it will work in a crunch and an emergency. If it's going to carbonize the inside of your cup too, so if you're worried about that, cleanup isn't too bad. So we'll just sit here and wait and let that heat up and start venting, which it is starting to do. So we'll just let that go. Yeah, it's starting to smoke. Both piles are starting to smoke pretty good now. If yeah, that's doing pretty good. I'd like to suggest, if you get a chance to watch MTWoodsrunner's channel. He's one of my favorites. I like to watch him quite a bit. He does a lot of hiking up in Montana. He's got some really good stories he tells. Some of his stories that come along with challenges that he's done are quite interesting. So he's one I like to watch quite often. So I'll put a link to his channel down at the bottom here in the description. And if you get a chance to check him out, he's got some pretty good stuff. We will just let that keep going for a while. It is still exhausting smoke, so that tells me that it is still charring. And once it runs out of burnable material, then it'll quit smoking, and we'll just set it off to the side to cool. We are coming up on 23, 24 minutes, and it's slowed down tremendously. And it is still venting some smoke, so I'll let it do that for a little while longer. I'm almost ready to pull it pretty soon, though. I think it's really at an almost done stage. So we'll let it go a little bit longer, and then I'm thinking it's going to quit venting here pretty soon. It's a very light and faint vent now. So. Okay, so it is. Looks to me like it has quit venting. I'm going to go ahead and pull this and set it right over here to cool down for a few minutes. Then we'll come back and check on it. And in the meantime, I'm going to restoke my fire here. Okay, so let's take a look-see here. It's warm, but not too bad. And there it is. Oops. In case you didn't get a glimpse of that, it is still smoking. So, we do have char cloth. It isn't cooled down enough, though. I'll leave it as it is, though. And get back to my chores. Get this back out of here. One last quick peek, if you can see it. There you go. All right, Woods, I appreciate you. Thank you for the challenge to do something different with Canteen Cup Tuesday. I had a lot of fun doing this one. And again, get over and take a look at MTWoodsrunner's YouTube channel. He's got a lot of good stuff, especially if you like Montana. So I want to thank everybody for watching, and we'll see you in the woods.